name is Jorge Marquez. I'm the owner of Ruthless Body. It's a clothing company. It's also a powerlifting team with 10 female members, 11 including myself. 4 of the athletes live here in California. 2 of them live in Texas. 1 lives in Oregon, 1 in Canada, and 1 in New York. I currently coach 2 of the athletes personally, and that would be Maggie and Vanessa. Ruthless Body to me started one day I was in the gym and I was going through some stuff, and I remember I reached out to somebody on Instagram. They had a clothing brand, and I just kind of reached out for advice on lifting, and I kind of did that whole, can you send me a shirt, or asking kind of for promotion type, how mostly everybody does when they're starting with lifting. They kind of reach out to the big brands to get some kind of validation back from them. And I remember one particular owner who responded, and he told me that they didn't give out clothes to anybody with less than 10,000 followers. So I remember that struck a nerve in me, and I figured, if I had a clothing brand, I would give out clothes to anybody, really. They're in the gym working out and they feel like they don't matter sometimes, or they're in a small town and a clothing brand will reach out to them and, maybe give them a free shirt. That will mean the whole world to them and actually help them, motivate them. And, you just might, change their life from something small, because everything right now on Instagram is about big brands, and big brands basically run fitness. And Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, it's all ran by the big companies in fitness. So let's just say if a big powerlifting company gives you some kind of a comment of approval on your post, you feel like you're worth something. Now, if you keep hashtagging these companies or, tagging them in your posts and they don't, give you any validation or approval or just like your post, you feel like you failed somehow. And because of that, I did the opposite when I started my brand. It motivated me to get it going, and obviously I had to put money into it, and I started reaching out to people and inviting people to come and check us out. And I would give out a lot of free stuff, simple thing to do, send them a shirt, and they would reply that oh my god, thank you for sending me a shirt. I never thought a clothing brand would give me a free shirt. And I was going through a lot of stuff. I was really depressed, or I stopped working out for a while. So that shirt that you sent me, for whatever reason, it helped them out and motivated them and made them feel like they actually mattered in the world. So that's one of the things that I pride myself in when it comes to my clothing brand, Ruthless Body. And it was one of the main ideas that I had when I started the brand, was that whenever I can, I'm gonna give out to the little people, and make them feel like they matter. The way I started powerlifting, or the way I discovered it, really, I was on deployment and I was in the Navy, and there's times where we go on deployment and we're in some kind of little shelter base or something, and I just remember we never had proper equipment. We didn't have a kind of like a squat rack or chest fly machines. I've always worked out, I've always did the bodybuilding workouts. And so when we were on deployment, we never had any dumbbells. We didn't have proper equipment for leg press, or we always had barbells. There was always a barbell no matter what. A bunch of rusty plates everywhere. So there was some older guys, some old school sailors and Marines on base, and they were deadlifting. And I remember, back then when I wanted to work out, I would go run around the base. I was just running because there was nothing else to do. There wasn't a proper facility for a gym. And I remember seeing these older guys, with the big old, military tattoos everywhere. They were shirtless, looking like fucking Popeye and all that. And it always captivated me because I didn't know what a deadlift was. I knew how to curl. I knew what curls were. I knew how to, use dumbbells. But I've never seen somebody use a barbell outside of a squat rack or a bench press setup. So they were deadlifting heavy. There wasn't any fucking foreign police. There was nobody there, making sure they had on a belt. They were just fucking picking stuff up and putting it back down. Shirtless, fucking, all tattooed, looking like fucking animals. And I was 18. So I'm standing off to the side looking at these fucking 30, 40-year-olds, and they're just, they're deadlifting heavy weights. I mean, 500 pounds. I've never seen that. I didn't even know what 500 pounds was. I didn't know how to count the plates. I didn't know the whole 45 system. I just knew they were doing it, and it looked fucking awesome, and they were having fun with what we had. So, I did the typical shy guy approach. I came over like, hey, what are you guys doing? Can I join you? Yeah, go ahead and join us, right? I don't know how the fuck to do it. So they started teaching me how to deadlift. Was it proper form? Probably not. I don't fucking remember, right? I didn't care, So I started deadlifting, and the word powerlifting kept coming up over and over, So I'm pretty sure I was annoying at first. I was just so excited and I wanted to learn. I kept coming back, and they were kind of like, fuck, this kid can't bench press shit. So, every time they would bench, they had to strip the bar so I could start, and they had to teach me from scratch. And they were all fucking pissed and, cursing all the time. But at the end of the day, we became a family. They took me in. The training method they taught me stayed with me. And it was the method was always, there's no program. I didn't learn how to deadlift or squat, with a program. It was just a bunch of fucking guys who were having a real bad time on deployment, picking up heavy stuff to release their demons, to release their stress. So that stayed with me. That's my style. I don't follow any programs. I don't powerlift for competition numbers. I do it for myself. It's my therapy. I just live heavy because I like to do it. My form's not always perfect. I don't really care about that unless, it gets to the point where it starts to hurt. Obviously, I got to tweak it. I will strip the bar and start from scratch when I'm getting better about checking my form and doing mobility and all that type of stuff, through injuries. I'm learning the importance of all the hippie stuff, mobility, stretching out, all that crap. I usually don't care about that. Load up the bar, I'm gonna pick it up or die trying. That's always been my attitude. A lot of people don't understand what PTSD is, PTSD is post-traumatic stress. You could get PTSD from anything, really. You could be in a fucking car crash. You could get raped, mugged, beat up, whatever it is. PTSD is just your reaction to that situation, and everybody's different. Some people are more exposed to more dangerous stuff. Somebody could go to combat, get blown up, and come home and be perfectly fine. And then a woman could be kidnapped and get PTSD. PTSD is just your brain's reaction to a traumatic incident. So my PTSD, I got it from some situations in my life where I've been stabbed. I've been in situations where there's chaos, explosions, high risk situations. There's times where even things that seem simple, and you're in a situation where a lot of stuff happens, and it just seems that I've always been around stressful situations, whether it's been physically, through injuries, through harm that's been done to me. And for the most part, I've always been good, but I guess at some point I realized that I wasn't good. I finally came to the conclusion that I wasn't good. I wasn't 100% always mentally stable. Before, I guess, I used to mask a lot of my symptoms from PTSD with, partying, alcohol consumption, prescription drugs, that's a big one. When I would feel down, you just pop a couple pills and you're happy again. When you feel like crap, drink a couple beers and whatever, it numbs it out. And so PTSD, the way that I get it is I go through depressive episodes, where I'm very depressed. I can't get out of bed sometimes. I can't shower. I can't get out of my house. I exclude myself from the world. I just become a hermit crab. Nobody mess with me. I get a lot of anxiety. I get so much anxiety that I cannot sleep at night. When I'm in a crowded space, let's say for example, the mall, and there's a lot of people and they're talking real loud, I think they're fighting. So because I think they're fighting, I'm mentally preparing myself to join the fight, and so It could be 3 in the morning and I hear a loud noise outside. I come out. I have to see what the noise is to cancel it out. You know, whatever the threat is, I have to come out and take it on. I can't just stay guessing, what's that noise. I have to come out. And so I'm always on alert. And the fact that I'm always on alert gets my anxiety levels up and it gets my breathing up, and I just feel like I'm ready. So because I always feel like I'm ready to fucking run, ready to sprint, ready to jump, it's exhausting. It tires me out. My breathing's out of whack. It could be 3 in the afternoon and I'm sitting at home and I hear a noise and I start fucking hyperventilating, like, like I'm ready to take it on, and it's nothing. It's a car driving by. It's an airplane, whatever the noise might have been, it gets me riled up. So I'm always either on alert, I'm always either depressed, I'm always either just anxious. So it's frustrating, it's tiring, and a lot of veterans that, have PTSD can't take it. They can't take the feeling of being tired all the time, being scared, being angry, being excited. All of those emotions at the same time will drive you insane. And so a lot of these veterans will, it's hard to say, but they'll commit suicide because they're exhausted. They can't take it any longer. They just, they just feel like there's no winning against their PTSD symptoms. And for me, I found out that my symptoms with PTSD come in handy at the gym when I powerlift. When I get fucking excited, it helps me kick up that adrenaline to deadlift heavier. When I get angry and I start fucking, my breathing goes out of whack and I start controlling my breathing, it gives me an extra push on a heavy squat. When I set up to bench, I just feel like something's about to happen. And if I don't get that bar off of me, I'm gonna die. So as crazy as the symptoms are, as fucked up as they are, I figured out a way to make them worth something at the gym, and they actually helped me out. I guess my message will be, I'm just a person just like you. I've had it real rough, and I've had it easier than most and rougher than others. And I've been in a situation where I've been hopeless. I've had the suicidal ideations. I've been to the hospital. I've been put on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications. I took myself out of all the medications. I manned the fuck up. I got to the gym. The gym got me through life. So my message to everybody would be to just fucking get in the gym. It's that easy. Get in the gym. One thing will lead to another. And before you know it, you'll actually enjoy what you're doing. Get out of your house. It's easy to stay stagnant and just be at home watching TV, watching other people powerlifting on YouTube and Instagram and commenting a whole bunch of bullshit. Your form is off while you're sitting in your fucking couch. That's the easy thing. The hard thing is to get to the fucking gym. Once you're in the gym, you're good. So just be active. We always make fun of every other lifting style within the community because we think it's funny. Powerlifters make fun of bodybuilders, bodybuilders are powerlifters. Everybody makes fun of CrossFit. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all share something in common, and that's the weights. We all lift, we're all a community, and we're all being active, and that's what matters. Stay active. Just stay active. Trust me. That's it, man. That shit got fucking weird.
All right, man. That's good. I love that.